All right, y'all. My bad. I need to apologize to Dom first, everybody. Everyone needs an Aquarius in the building. I was in a nice, full-on, like, straight up comatose, nice toasty nap. Like
I
it was.
implore all y'all to go and follow me on Instagram because every week I get on live at the start time of when we're supposed to record. And maybe a couple of minutes before. And so once I realized that it was 5:40 and we were supposed to record at 5 o'clock, then we pushed back to 5:30. I was like, okay, something is going on. So
No, I just need a little minute. I just need to pause for the cause. You know, I need a little nappy nap. I'm sorry, I'm old. I need
look,
nap.
my ramen is getting cold in the kitchen because I thought we were starting at a certain time. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a sip of the broth and let me make a coffee and put.
Oh, so you what do you mean you make your ramen with broth?
Yeah, so that I don't. Yes, so ramen is made in a broth.
Right, no, but I'm talking about like the home broth. I mean, I didn't know people made it. I just always thought we just poured the packet on the after the thing. After we poured out a little bit of the
I didn't
water.
make a pack of noodles. I actually ordered ramen.
Oh shit! Okay. You actually have real ramen. Okay.
Listen. I am an Angelino. I no longer make noodles. I order them. I'm
Oh,
trying to learn. I want to learn how to do it. I got a homeboy that be making ramen, but I want to learn how to make it. I had it once in a HelloFresh kit, but it wasn't as filling as whatever they doing over here in the restaurants. So here we are. I've made a coffee. I've poured a double shot of whiskey, and we are good to go. So welcome everybody to everyone Aquarius. I'm your host, Dominique, dripped and drenched in oils like I am a Thanksgiving ham or turkey. And this is Daryl. Welcome everybody. I gotta get you a beeper.
No, I don't need a beeper. You acting like I'm like one of those. What was those things to have? Where it was like falling. I need help. Like the little. What was it? The amber. The one. The amber.
Alert?
Yeah. You like I need one of those motherfuckers.
You do. Daryl, you have no concept of time, friend.
No, man. Look, wait till you have a kid, and you try to get in a little nap.
Listen, I don't have a kid, and I always try to get in a little nap. I'm like, shit. Whoo, I'm like Marlo Hampton. I am tired. I am today. Try me. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Look, I'm just saying, brother B. It was just need a little pause for the cause. Is all I needed.
I get it. But when I told you what was popping, and you said, "Oh shoot, let's do." I should. Anytime that happens, I'm gonna just say, "Yep, let's turn it on now."
just go ahead and just tell me. Go ahead now, like, well, I won't have to get no nap or nothing.
Yep.
But your weekend was all good.
What did I do this weekend? Oh my god, I went out Friday night with my sister-in-law and our friend, and one of my homeboys popped in town, so I saw him all of 10 minutes. He met us, and we went to this rooftop. Then from there went to the Nice Guy. From there went to Barry's, and I got home at 4 a.m. And it wasn't like, oh, we was out kicking it. I was hurting. I was tired. Like I had to drive my sister-in-law to like Tarzana, and
how far is that from you? I mean, for people that
it was like it was a minute, and then from there, I mean, I just had to pretty much take the one-on-one home. But when you tired, everything seems longer, and I felt like I almost pulled over and took a nap in my car because I got a blanket in my car. But I had a good time. I had a good time. How was your week?
I saw y'all out kicking it on the pictures and everything.
Yeah, I gotta post it. I'm gonna post it to my timeline because I reposted it because Chantel posted it, but I'm gonna post all of them. I was trying to figure out if that was gonna be my post tonight, and I'll share it with the people because we had a good time and whatnot. So yeah, just being silly with my girls. Where my girls at from the front to back. So yeah, that's all. How was your weekend?
It was chill, man. Like, I can't complain for real, to be honest with you. I mean,
Okay.
I'll be on nothing. Is the great Beanie Sigel said, I don't do much.
Well, I saw you in the picture with Focus and some people.
Oh, I did go to a birthday party. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Shoot. Went to a birthday party. There's a conversation I had there that is totally inappropriate for our podcast. So I'd have to tell you that later on. It is totally inappropriate. But it was interesting that some of my things I had thought of on some other things were confirmed. Just interesting though. But it was cool. It was cool.
Can you like what was the topic centered around? Like, was it relationships or like life in general? Like
hold on, I don't even want to put. I'm gonna put it in the chat over here because I don't even want to even the streets even know.
You said a lot of things. I have a funny joke that I'm trying to work out. I think I'm gonna have to start writing like a book of jokes. Just
you got to get the stand up going, man.
I know, like so many people have asked me how I do stand up, like Shantae Wayans. Who else was? Somebody else hit me up to do a show. And then, I already told you, like my homeboy BT, who is touring with Nate Jackson, is like, yeah, Dom, you're gonna be up there. I already know. And I'm like, so I don't know, but that's funny because this actually that include that's the joke. That's an interesting joke.
Yeah, man, it just don't make sense to me. It don't make sense.
Have you ever seen a white one?
Yeah,
I ain't never seen a white one.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm gonna put one in the chat.
I don't look at her like that.
What do you mean?
I look at that. That's like just.
Oh, God, I got another one for you. Hold on.
I just be thinking about hipster.
No,
like that culture as a whole.
No, they're the equivalent of it. Or another one. I got another one.
But they're softer. So think about it like that. What we think of that versus how it looks on our people.
I think it's equivalent. Like, those I mentioned, they're the equivalent. All right,
we'll talk about it offline. Let's get this show on the road because that's so funny.
Because we're gonna be like, what the hell?
I'm like, all these people that like, I see where you're going, but I'm thinking like more. They don't necessarily present to me like that. And I said that to a couple of my friends, and they was like, shit. And then like when they started naming, I was like, think about it though. It's kind of, there's still a softness.
Yes.
I don't think you're gonna smack me around and call me Susan.
No. I agree. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump on in. Top topics. All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Donald J. Trump, 35 charges. Convicted on in the New York District Court, state charges, not Fed charges, but he's still a felon now. I don't think this means anything for the presidency.
Nope.
This is just embarrassing, like for him, but he don't give a fuck either. Because I read an article, I believe, and it's this is a lot of percentage points. It said 4% of people that were voting for Donald Trump look like they said they may change their mind because of this. 4% people like, man, that ain't shit. 4% is a lot. They could swing an election. 4%.
Yeah.
But now these people might be lying too. So I don't know if they are, if they aren't. But I was surprised. I was like, every minute I was like, man, he finna get off. Even when I saw it, I was like, guilty of what? I was shocked. I almost went to defend him. I was like, "Oh, what? What's he guilty of?" Because I couldn't believe it.
No, don't forget, we still have
Georgia.
The whole situation in Georgia,
DC.
Then Wisconsin is looking at something as well, taking that person charge, like filing, a suit.
Yeah, but the DC is the only one that's going to be able to come up before the election, because them jamming up Fannie Willis over this past few months that we talked about, that jettisoned that whole case even coming before this before the election.
Oh no, for sure.
I mean, and look, man, I know people want to cape for Fannie, and I get it. Fannie, what is it? Stella had to get her groove back. Fannie needed her groove back, but you didn't need it right now.
Okay.
And I know that may sound,
but have we even had an update regarding that case? Because I feel like we haven't really heard.
No, not since we talked about people was mad at us.
People, what? Yeah,
remember on Instagram, people were like, remember the one dude was like, "You just going off of innuendo." We was like, "No, they have them together."
Yeah, they have like it's not. Like,
remember this before it fully came out. We like, dude, and people didn't really read it.
We didn't make it up. This isn't hearsay, my nigga.
Like they were on cruises and shit together, like
right. I'm like, we.
They was like, yeah, you just trying to throw a woman. You just going off hearsay. And I'm so petty. It was like 2 weeks later, I went back to that and I commented to that person back. It was like, hey, just wanted to get an update from you on us lying about this. Just wanted to get your thoughts.
What did he say?
And then he went, yeah, y'all were right. I don't have nothing much else to say. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
At least they were man or woman enough. I don't know, because it was one of those empty profiles. At least they responded back like, hey, you know what? We was wrong. But
one thing we don't do here is lie. We talk a lot of shit over here. We do. We crack a lot of jokes. But one thing we don't do, because we don't have to do, is lie, because there's no benefit in lying to you guys about anything. We are the news. We both have media degrees, and what is that going to do for us? Yes, we dabble in pop culture a lot and talk about a lot of different things that happen, but that is our oath to give you guys the truth. We're not like every other media news outlet. We're not doing things for clicks and views. We are giving y'all the real. So with that said, to the people that are in my comments regarding the shorts, that is on my page, that when we were talking about the allegations, now there are no longer allegations. We knew they were fact, and I spoke to you guys directly about things that I knew directly about when they happened years ago, right? Regarding this Diddy mess. Y'all have to understand how I would love for you guys to go and research just the basis of domestic violence relationships, and why women or men stay. Because when they leave, 75% of those people end up unalived, right? That is the fact. That is the stat. And so when I was talking about things in regards to the statute of limitations, restraining orders, all of that, restraining orders are not easy to come up by. I just want to let everybody know that. You could go every day trying to get a restraining order against somebody, but if you don't use the proper verbiage and have certain, outside of somebody stalker calling you and leaving you voicemails, that does not garner in the criminal world. That does not garner a restraining order. Like you guys saw what happened, and even in Baby Reindeer, where the cop was like, hey, you have to, if you have voicemails where she is threatening you, you can present those to us. Outside of this is just stalking. The law does not protect stalking. Like it is nothing. That is just something that's happening. It was just also how you have a lot of people when those things happen come up there. Also, when a restraining order is granted, how you still have people come up there because I feel like if you grant me this motherfucker needs to be in jail. Like I told y'all. So with that said, I implore, like I would really like if you guys learned what happened. And I know a lot of the basis of this because back even when things happened with a Chris Brown and Rihanna, I did a news story on that. And I went to a facility that, helped women get out of violent situations. So it's not she was paper chasing, she was trying to do these things. It's because likely what was said to her is, bitch, if you leave me, because we know it wasn't gentle, I will kill your mother. I will kill your father. I will kill your sister. I will kill your best friend. I will kill you. You saw her try to leave and you saw what happened. So well, I don't understand. And I want to also say, sorry, Dee, to cut you off. And I wish healing to all the women in the comments. And even if you haven't commented and these articles and stories and all this stuff is triggering for you because you experienced something, I wish you ladies nothing but healing and comfort. And I wish you guys a lot of love in that next chapter of your lives, because it's been a lot of women commenting and telling us their story as well.
Yeah, no, that's been kind of the thing, man. That's been kind of bugged out, man, to see that, like, yo, people been through some stuff, man. They just don't talk about it as much. I didn't know we were going here at this moment because I just totally wasn't prepared for us in this moment, because I guess since we here now. I didn't know we was going to Surviving Diddy, but I mean, you segued into it. Fuck Donald Trump. I mean, we know it ain't nothing gonna happen for real. So let's go to Surviving Diddy. Continue your part. Go ahead, Dom.
I want to say, I've more so recently, I've been seeing pictures of him, and I was like, wow, you can look at his photo, like images of him, and I'm like, wow, it's like he has no soul. Like his eyes are so dark, like even the white part, like it's like demon.
Yeah, I mean,
gonna call him Sean Demon Combs. Like that's his new name.
Sean Demon Combs. Damn.
Sean Demon Combs. Like it's like he has no soul. Like it was some pictures somebody posted. They said, "Oh, remember when Kim tried to slit Diddy's wrist with a corkscrew because he broke her nose because they was fighting?" And in this picture, I'm like, wow, like he looks like he doesn't have a soul. Like I can feel this. Like you are a dark, terrible person. And like I always say, I tell y'all, it takes nothing to be a fucking decent human being. And sometimes people are just evil. They could just be shitty people. And y'all are still trying to figure out a way to make things easier. Oh, his mental health. Everybody, yes, do we all have some level of mental health issues? Yes, we do. The world is burning. People are dying. Inflation is fucking ridiculous. There's a genocide happening in multiple countries. Israel don't want to do a ceasefire. Y'all can tell us how many fucking terrorists y'all killed, but y'all can't tell us how many civilians y'all killed. So yeah, do I believe that he could potentially have? Yeah, he got mental health issues because he beating on women like this. And you want us to believe that you in therapy? Not when you just said a couple of months ago that motherfuckers is trying to extort you. And another thing, fat ass, bitch ass academics. While we here.
Good. We go. Damn, let's roll with it. Oh, go.
Pot, kettle. I don't understand. Because you should be the last motherfucker speaking on anything because you just got caught up in some shit. And wasn't Diddy trying to beat your ass? So why are you trying to figure out ways for him to be like, oh, this is how he can overcome this, whatever? Didn't you just say a few months back? Because you made some comment about Carisha. And now you make the math. This is beyond nigga math.
I mean, I didn't know we talking about academics like that. I really didn't even think we wanted to talk about
because he's a
like
non-factor.
Yeah, I'm fine with not even discussing them for real, to be honest with you.
But I just had to get that off my chest. I feel better now.
I mean, let's talk about Biggie's mom, Miss Valletta Wallace, the great Valletta Wallace, has come out after the Rolling Stones article we talked about last week and says she wished she could slap the shit out of him. I'm paraphrasing it for her. That woman didn't say that, but that's what she said. And I don't know. It's so multi-layered. Because I was thinking about it even more after we did our show. Because the quote where he says that nigga dead, it's time for me to shine. That's probably a direct quote from somebody, because that was for Rolling Stone. So that's not like one of them of like, oh, we gotta find somebody. That was another. Right. That's actually resourced in from. You could either that person may still work there, but like, hey, Chris, when you what did Diddy say when? Oh, he said that nigga dead. Let him be on the cover. Yeah, and on top of that, putting his hands on these women, and he's consistently been shitting on Biggie's legacy by not giving back Valletta Wallace those masters, by not letting her really get to be able to lay her son to death for real, and not really knowing, and she probably does know, like, what happened to her son. Like, this man been running around.
But like, you know, as people started to talk, you know, we talked about that and how in actuality, it wasn't necessarily Biggie that they was trying to get. They was trying to get Puff.
Yeah.
So even knowing that information, you're like, well, shit. And we've been saying this for almost a year now. When everything happened with Keefe D came out like around this time last year, maybe a couple months after, and you were saying how all these people, because of that one situation about that chain, indirectly got all these people knocked off.
A lot of people died because of the Puffy with that damn death row chain.
Yep.
But he was that ego with it, man. You know, and I'm not mad at Miss Valletta Wallace.
Yeah. And you know, it's very Scorpio behavior. It is narcissistic, socio. It's not so. Well, he's a sociopath, but like, you know what I mean. Like, it's all these different layers to like. He's a. But I don't understand. It's crazy what money, power, and a lost soul, and how fame will fuck with your psyche, and you will do any and everything to feed the beast to have it.
Yeah. I mean, so Mr. Valletta Wallace, I hope you get some peace. Maybe you can get those masters back for you and your grandchildren and his legacy, man. All right, let's talk about
I wonder if there's a way that, especially now with what's going on, because you know he just sold today. He sold all of his shares like in Revolt, and the employees.
Oh, he ain't giving up that Biggie Master stuff. That's too much money, Dom. He would go bankrupt if he'd have had them Biggie Masters. You got to think about that. Those hypnotizers in movies, commercials, all that. He ain't giving up that. He ain't giving up that Black Rob Woe. He ain't giving up Craig Mack.
That's the name is a lot of that stuff, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's not giving them the back. Craig Mack flavor in your ear. He ain't giving that back. Like, have you heard the story? Easy Mo B produced Flavor in Your Ear, and Puffy put himself on the remix. Didn't even know Easy Mo B didn't even know he produced both beats, the regular and the remix. He showed up and he was like, it says the Puff Daddy remix, and he taking 50% of the credit on the beat he didn't even make.
I wonder if there's a way that you can sue people for that. But see, with copyright and music, and even when it comes to fashion, that is just such a complex realm when it comes to that.
Yeah, because it's so subjective, so it's not. It's especially back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's go into this Karl Lentz podcast. You mentioned this in the last episode a little bit, but now it's official.
It's official. So it's not necessarily him going back to a church. And for the people that could have missed the episode, Karl Lentz was a pastor at Hillsong. Hillsong became a big phenomenon a few years, like maybe 10 years to current, bringing, it was like this hipster style church. We had a lot of celebrities going to it. There's an amazing documentary about Hillsong on Hulu. It's like a 4-part documentary, and it kind of takes you through the Hillsong journey. Karl Lentz getting there, going to Australia to be a parishioner and all these things. He went to seminary, unlike the pastor from last week.
Yes.
To become this like pastor, like he was like very charismatic. He's like the spokesperson of Hillsong and all these things, and then come to find out he is having affairs, and they're taking advantage of their parishioners there.
Justin Bieber, him going more spiritual is because of Karl Lentz. People.
Yeah, Karl Lentz and my former. I no longer go to the city church because they changed the schedule. But Judah Smith, because I think Judah ended up marrying him and Haley. And so, yeah, like you find out all these things about him, and it's kind of like this downfall of kind of Hillsong. And so now he's back with a podcast talking about his journey. And I think I might tune in. I think I might tune in because just to see where is this going to lead, because I feel like this is going to be a road. We talk about redemption and all these different things, but I wonder if this ultimately is going to lead to him getting back into the pulpit.
I mean, I don't see why not. Go ahead and get back in that pulpit.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to tie this into us talking about Karl Lentz. When you get a moment, watch on Netflix. There is a documentary about TikTok, and it's like a 3-part documentary regarding these dancers on TikTok and how they end up pretty much in a cult. And
is it called TikTok Boom?
No, TikTok Boom is the one on Hulu. That's the one about what could potentially happen should TikTok.
Dancing for the Devil.
Yes, Dancing for the Devil.
The $7 million TikTok cult.
Yo, it's niggas it's niggas on there, and I just hella niggas
in a TikTok cult. Oh, I gotta watch this.
But they got out, and so this goes back to one of the things that, because I want to do a podcast about this, like talking about why it's so important when we talk about people, when we talk about foundation, and if you don't have a strong foundation, you just don't stick your sand, and so you're very impressionable, and it's easy for you to fall into those places, because this guy is like this Asian guy, and who is that is trying to preach like a nigga. So there's so many things, and it's funny because one of the girls that gets saved, like that, her homeboy that rescues her is this guy named Marquez Richardson, who was an actor. He was in the movie, and I think and on the TV show, TV series of Dear White People. He's in Imprisoned on Hulu, but he goes to get his homegirl. And
in his documentary?
Yeah, he tells the story about how he rescues his homegirl from this cult.
It's all the guy that plays Reggie.
Yeah.
So he
wasn't in the cult, but he just
right. But his friend was. But his girlfriend our fiance is old girl that that got into it with our boy that played Easy E on the Shy.
Oh, see, I don't know nothing about that drama.
Remember he got kicked off the Shy for like sexually harassing her supposedly on the set of the Shy, and she left. And supposedly her boyfriend was showing had to show up on set because of the friction between them two. That's him.
Oh,
that's her fiance.
Okay, all right.
Is Marquis Richardson? Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy because like, and then you hear all these people's stories, and well, I just say I can't, and that's not one up at anybody, but man. And you think about how people have used religion to take advantage of people, and then you really start to get down and they really start saying what was happening, like the sexual assault that was happening, and how he was sleeping with a couple of them. And then he tried one other girl, but just y'all gotta be careful, because like these people are human beings just like the rest of us. They be false prophets. We just spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
Just last week. Please be safe in these church streets. Because church hurt is a real thing. Like my homegirl got a whole podcast about that. And about church hurt and what be happening, and how we're kind of in this age now of people, we're seeing a lot of churches kind of crumble because of manipulation and control and all of that. But it's just, I'm interested to see what is going to happen on this podcast, because like I said, like this is pretty much what he's talking about, and let's see if we'll get other perspectives. Yeah,
it's just interesting, man. Just the whole demo with all of this stuff with the Hillsong. If you see the documentary, it's crazy in general. But I'm interested in seeing this TikTok one.
It's crazy
because we might, you know what? We're going to review this next week. I'm gonna watch this shit this weekend.
Please,
and we're gonna review this.
Like Daryl, you about to be pissed. You about to be pissed because it is literally, it's so wild. It's so wild.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this one.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to review this like we did, because we haven't done a review in a minute. We want to do this like we did. Because last one we did was the
show.
No, the dude that Dime Out His Boys, and they started that hedge fund company and was taking people money. We watched Bitcoin.
The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Voiced Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
Oh, yeah, that weird motherfucker.
Yeah. And that dude's still out. That's just still wild to me. He's still out there. He's doing interviews and everything. He a little celeb and all that, yo. That is still wild to me that he was
all
the main.
People had to pay that money back except him.
Yep.
Man, and y'all want to tell us privilege don't exist? I'm gonna start life like I'm a white man, Daryl.
Man,
I was like, well, who are you talking to? I'm a white man. I'll report back and let y'all know how that go.
I want everybody to know that Hot 97 Summer Jam is over. And I don't mean like it's over like something like they may end up continue to having it. But for us people that remember the Hot 97 Summer Jam with Jay-Z bringing Michael Jackson out there with performances from Nas up there, Ludacris, Busta, all these classic performances. Missy Elliott when she first brought Nelly Furtado out, Forget Your Freak On remix, like stuff like that was iconic to us and there for us. It's not there no more. Now, so I'm going to read you the lineup for this, and I'm not mad at them for doing this. Keep this in mind. I am mad at them for the one person I'm going to talk about. Hold on. For the lineup, for putting this lineup together, trying to be too cute. We talked about this before about a little bit, and we talked about this off air a little bit with the same problem Essence is having.
I was about to say that, are they having the same issue that Essence is having?
They're having the same issue.
Okay.
The exact same issue. So
Daryl, we need to stop playing with our agency.
So all right. So this is the lineup for Summer Jam 2024. Doja Cat and Friends, Sexy Red, French Montana, DeVito, or is it DeVito or DeVito? Lola Brooke, DeVito, Cash Cobain, Bass Swag, Honey Baby, 5-Year Foreign, 41, who is Kyle Rich, Jen Carter, and Tata, Sleepy Hollow, Connie Diamond, 3110 Baby, Ty Dolla $ign and Friends, Celebrity Host, A Boogie. Then they have A Celebration of Life of Mr. C, which included Jadakiss, EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, Method Man and Redman, Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, Funk Master Flex for the DJ for that part, hosted by Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, Nessa, and Laura Styles.
Yeah.
I just get your initial thoughts on that lineup before we discuss further.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot of the people I don't know, and I know the other people, but it is one of those things of now gauging and knowing your audience, right? So Method Man, I just the lineup is all over the place. And it's Summer Jam. Is Summer Jam? Is it like a weekend? Is it like a festival?
So
it's one day, right? It's the one day, right? So it probably start like at.
Let me see what it says here. What time does it start? It doesn't say what time it starts on here. But they start like in the daytime and like all the way to night. So like I know that you could get there like 5 o'clock and it runs to like midnight type thing.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the same thing we talk about. Like y'all trying to bridge the gap, but y'all not doing it right. And I think that there's like a huge disconnect that's happening with a lot of these lineups. Like a lot of the lineups, and they all pretty much.
It started at 6 o'clock. It started at 6 o'clock.
And for the most part, they all kind of look the same. But ultimately, there is a huge disconnect there. You're talking about Mr. C. There's this tribute to Mr. C. More than half of the people that's buying them tickets are not there for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, have a different event if you're going to do things like that to house all these older, and I'm not gonna say that, more seasoned acts, right? That have been around, that we all
veterans.
Yes, veterans. seasoned. I like seasoned because seasoned just sound good. You know, you got to get something real good. Seasoned, you let it marinate overnight.
Yeah. Let it sit in the barrel for a minute.
It's aged to perfection. So ultimately, that's what's happening. And so y'all keep trying to pick and do these things. Okay, well, we want the 25-year-olds to come. So I'm going to bring this artist, and then I want this to happen. So I'm going to bring this artist. And like we said before, even regards to Meg closing out Essence, I don't think that was a good. Meg should have been on Friday.
You closed it out with Frankie with Isley Brothers. I don't know what.
I don't, and so I don't know because with the lineup, at least with a lot of us, and even sorry, that is the dog. She came over. Oh, that's snoring and snoring. There's still so many of us that stand Isley Brothers, Frankie Beverly Mays, Angie Stone, and you know, all these different acts, and you still have new up and coming artists that still are pulling that the old heads can connect with, along with, you know, the younger generation. But there's still a lot of the younger generation that know who a lot of these artists are, and y'all just trying to see what sticks, you know, to the wall. So there's a huge disconnect. So I can see if I'm an artist and I'm performing, and I'm not. The audience, it really isn't engaging with me how I would think that they should. Of course, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. I think Homeboy. Now we could get into what you want to talk about. I don't want to take away your.
Oh no. I mean, it's another conversation that Method Man has a comment that I want to talk about, and then how the youth and just interesting how they look at our hip hop, but. You know, also this weekend was the Roots picnic,
and that's where a lot of his audience might be.
But they performed the Roots picnic too.
Oh,
Method Man and Redman did totally different, but they doing a normal thing, right? But no, but the thing is, if you're Hot 97, why would you even do a tribute? Period at that event. I know Mr. C worked for Hot 97. I know you're trying to do something to honor him because he worked there so long. At something like that event, but when everybody that's in your crowd that would want to come see that tribute is at the Roots picnic, and that's a 3-day thing.
Yeah.
Why would you even book that the same weekend? And y'all, you know that a year ahead, so it's not like it just popped up on you. Oh damn, this is the same weekend as the Roots picnic. No, y'all didn't give a fuck. Honestly.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's about.
And it may not be at the venue because it's at the MetLife Center football arena. Maybe some other stuff going on. They may only can get it that weekend. So, but you don't do that tribute then. Just have all them young gunners, have all them young acts to be there, and let it be what it be, and don't even try to bring them in.
I feel like as long as he's been there, it should have been something completely separate, like different. It should have been a separate event.
Do something at the House of Blues or something, or Sobeys or something like, hey, we're gonna do something, Mr. C, at a little smaller venue where maybe 1,000 people could come out that want to kick it and hear some of those acts.
Right. No, oh, for sure. I'm with you on that because I was like, I understand how he felt slighted. You know, it's like,
Method Man said this is the last Hot 97 Summer Jam he's doing. He said because the crowd wasn't my crowd. They weren't into it. They didn't know my music. I don't even know. I don't need to be here anymore. Period. So. Yeah. Red and Meth are out on every doing something.
And here's the thing. Now, I feel like if they were going to do something, if Hot 97 was going to do something again where it was more cultivated toward a certain demographic, I get it. But ultimately, this goes back to knowing who your audience is. So what are those Nielsen SoundScan numbers looking like? Like, you know, like seriously, you know, and I know a lot of people say they don't listen to radio anymore. Because you got satellite radio, you have podcasts, you have all these different avenues where people can consume music, but then you still do have people that listen to a certain degree. And I'm gonna say mainly in the morning and maybe at night if you're trying to, like, if you work that late shift and they gonna put the, you know, undiscovered talent on there like how they would do back at home.
Yeah.
But that goes back to knowing your demographic.
And they also they did a 50 years of hip hop. They did a 50 years of hip hop celebration in September. Hot 97 did. Why don't they just do one every year that same September? And then this year would have been the same kind of performance, because they had on that concert, they had a lot of people. They had Wu-Tang Clan, Mary J. Blige, Sean Paul, EPMD, Mariah Carey, Tyrese, Maxwell, all on the show.
But that's a different.
They could just did another one in September of this year and just run that back and then do Mr. C as a part of that and just get a whole nother to the acts and put it at Madison Square Garden like y'all did.
Yep. A lot of things.
Instead of trying to make it in this one big event.
That's what I was just to say. Like a lot of people make things more complex and complicated for no reason when it literally is that simple.
And then there was this one little young lady, man. I wanted to call her out of her name initially when I read it. When she said that. Let me pull it up here. She was. I didn't want to call out her name because that young lady. I don't know anything about her for me to say that. But that was my initial thought. Like I said, I wanted to call out.
Offline, y'all was hella mean.
I
was like, you can't say that. Yes, I can.
Young lady on Twitter, Method Man says what he has to say. She retweets and says, "Good. Don't nobody want to see you old niggas perform. I couldn't name one Method Man song other than that one with Mary. And Redman is only known for his classic MTV Cribs episode, Laugh Out Loud." She proceeds to now I'm going to go investigate, because now I got a deep dive, because I just don't like seeing that stuff. So I go to find out. She's sitting there arguing now with O'Shea Jackson, saying he didn't play the role of his daddy well, because O'Shea Jackson got it. O'Shea Jackson Jr. got it and was like, "What the fuck wrong with you?" Like,
okay, what we're not gonna do is that we're not.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she must be trolling. She must be trolling."
Yeah, like he is his daddy's son for real.
And he looked just like him. He played it the best out of everybody on there. I forgot that was Ice Cube.
And I liked him. I liked his acting and swagger. I'm sad they kind of canceled, but it kind of made sense. I was like, oh, what can really happen? Are we gonna follow them to college?
And what was the other one? He was good in Den of Thieves too, the 50 movie.
I like O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
we like you over here. This is an O'Shea Jackson Stan account.
So then I investigate
problematic things, but we fuck with you.
Yeah, his daddy be in and out, But then I'm going investigating more. I'm finding and looking. I keep going. People are saying that she's trolling, that she's trying to do this to troll to get attention.
A lot of people do that though. A lot of people do that.
And that's the troll is fun, but I think some people get too emboldened in their troll of where they just go like, well, I mean, I was just playing, but since y'all want to talk about a bitch, I'm gonna just put 10 more toes down on this. Like, hey, nobody can. And then she was like, nobody can name 5 Method Man songs, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're just being an asshole now.
Yeah.
You're just being an asshole. And then somebody says, you from Florida, that's why you don't know.
It's like the wildest thing.
I know more than 5 songs of him than everybody else on this goddamn list for this show.
I know you do. I'm confident that you do.
Like, some of these, I don't even know how to pronounce their names.
I don't know how to pronounce their names.
I think DeVito. Says DeVito.
DeVito.
Yeah, never heard a song from him in my life.
Yeah, he from Nigeria.
Okay, so has he got more Afrobeat song?
Yeah, he
been
around for a minute though.
Never heard a song from him. I'm gonna go down this list real quick. Doja Cat and Friends. Doja Cat, I just heard a couple songs by her recently in my life. Besides that doggone that Milk a Cow song or whatever she first came out with.
Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch,
yeah, I hated that shit.
I don't. She's like, I'm not a cat. She's like, I'm not a cat. I don't go meow, bitch. I'm a cat.
Okay. Yeah, I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, I
can't
go
do that.
moo.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm that fuck. That's not shit.
Moo.
Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
Moo.
No.
Bitch, I'm too smooth. That's my shit. I love that song. It was fun, especially for like that time. It was so random and people really not knowing, like Doja Cat before that, and realizing that the girl can rap, she can sing. Now I don't know.
Doja Cat be headlining Summer Jam. She's more of a pop artist, right?
Look,
Sexy Red. She's the next headliner. They had co-headliner. Sexy Red. I am forced to know some music by her because I reside in St. Louis, Missouri. But if I wasn't from here, would I know her music? Probably not. French Montana, I know some of his music. Yes. Divido, don't know his music. Lola Brooke, I've heard of her. Heard of some of her rhymes. She can actually rhyme a little bit. Lola Brooke.
Oh yeah, I like her. Don't play.
She can actually rap.
Don't play with it.
Yeah, I've heard her.
She did. Her and Bryson Tiller do a cover of Foxy Brown. Gotta Get You Home. They rap. She on that beat. That's nice. And she was perfect for that.
Okay, because she can actually rap though.
Yeah.
Then next, Cash Cobain. Never heard of this individual in my life until
I don't know who that is either.
Bass Swag. Never heard of this individual in my life. Honey Baby with the X instead of the A. Never heard of them in my life. Fabio Foreign. Only heard of him because of
I heard the name
because ASAP Ferg and those boys.
Well, I know the name. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't pick him up I couldn't pick him in the lineup though.
But he's big. He's a big artist though. I mean,
don't know her.
I mean him. That's a him.
I'm quoting Mariah Carey.
Oh. But Fabio Foreign, I know you got a song with Nas too. 41, never heard of them. Sleepy Hollow, never heard of them. Connie Diamond, never heard of her. 310 Baby, never heard of him or her. Not sure who that is by sex even.
I'm gonna assume they're from Los Angeles.
310 is that
that's like Beverly. Yeah, Beverly Hills area code. That's the LA area code.
Oh, okay. 310 Baby. Yeah, he's from Inglewood. It says it's a gentleman.
I was like, I'm gonna assume they're from.
Okay. Yeah, and then Ty Dolla $ign, I know him, and Friends. I know him. I know A Boogie. Okay, with the hoodie. And then obviously I know the rest of the people that was down with Mr. C. But there has to be. We need a real shift in real money put into adult contemporary hip hop stations. Yeah. Like there's a soft rock, and then there's like the Point 105.7 The Point, where it's a little bit more
maybe alternative. You can create a station. Go on Station Head. So on Station Head, you can. I think Station Head is still a thing. But you can have like your own radio show. And it's like, I think it's like linked to your Spotify or whatever. Some music app where you can go and actually play music.
I'm looking here now. Station Head is a place for music from fans and artists around the world to use Station Head to connect, listen live, and stream together.
Yeah. Maybe you make your VJ premiere on there. And do it that way.
I mean, I used to be a DJ in college, man. So I mean, maybe
right? What was your name?
Well, I had two different ones. I had I had a show. I had 3 shows on the radio there. I had the Quiet Storm / the Heartbreak Hotel. Either you checking in or you checking out. That was kind of the tagline of it. Yeah, that shit dope, wasn't it? Like, so you call in, people will call in like, I'm getting into a new relationship, so I'm checking out the Heartbreak Hotel. I'm like, oh, it's all good, sweetheart. That's good. That's dope. / the Quiet Storm. I was on there. I was just myself. I was like, welcome to the Quiet Storm, and we're here to see about you. If you're gonna be in the Heartbreak Hotel, are you breaking in? I mean, are you checking in? Or are you checking out? Call up 847-KURE. on your radio dial.
Oh my God.
And then I had that DJ Dig Game, obviously, was one of them. And then I had a radio show. My boy, shout out to Jerron, who listens. Fat Man and the Skinny Man. He was fat, I was skinny. So we had a Fat Man and the Skinny Man show. That was just all hip hop.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I was on in the afternoon, and it was like the afternoon tea with your girl, Pretty Sadidi, because y'all know that's my Twitter name. And so I would play like R&B, hip hop, all of that. And we would, like, it's like a talk show. Like, so I would always have guests on. I would hate being in that studio though, when I wouldn't like if my guests flaked on me. Cause like trying to entertain people. So you kind of telling them like about different things that you're going through or whatever. But yeah, it was a good time. People would literally like listen all the time. I had like one of the highest like rated shows in college. So it's a good time, man. Good time.
Yeah, so I just got to figure it out, and we're gonna do a deeper dive soon on Essence Festival as well, which is a lot of these different places are being plagued by not understanding demographic, and it may be a situation where the demographic, and I blame this on Diddy too. Actually, and as we go transition to the next topic, I blame this on Diddy too, that this nigga was making people think they should just be young in the club for a long time. Like the idea of transitioning and going to like remember our parents used to go to the 30 and up club. What happened at all? Now the niggas that's over 30 want to be in the 20-year-old club listening to the Sexy Red. My mom was not listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, I think yes.
They listening to Guy.
So I don't know, even in LA, unless and if there's a place that exists, it's likely more toward Inglewood, if there's something like that. But I don't really even know anything like that out here. And I'd be interested to see the dynamic too, because it seems like the people kind of more in my age bracket that don't necessarily want to go to the club, like how we went to the Nice Guy. Like the Nice Guy is a restaurant, or Delilah, where like you have like certain celebs that frequent. Like I think Drake even has like a drink maybe on the menu at both places. But like you get more people that's kind of like more in that scene, like lounge, like where it's not like that hoopla, like, oh, you got them on like list who invited you out, all of that rah. Like they're more in those spaces as opposed to the other people that are in Hollywood. Like sometimes I just want to pop into a club and be like, I still got it, bitch. I'm bad. Like, I know there's still another dude at the rope, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's too. I know I'm going to name drop and I can come in there with my.
That's that's an industry party, though. That's a different
But
thing.
I don't know, because like I've been seeing conversation around, like there's been a couple of places popping up in St. Louis, restaurants where they have an age restriction. Like you got to be.
Bliss. The name of the restaurant is called Bliss.
Yes.
Bliss. Sorry.
Bliss. And it looks nice from the photos that I've seen. And people
it's a nice North County spot. You know what I'm saying?
But mind you, you have restaurants that are inner city where I saw video. What was that? Phil Assets posted somebody like they dined and dashed, but they hopped out the window, which I think they ultimately closed that restaurant down.
Oh, you talking about the spot where what was the name of that spot? It was on Washington. I know the spot you're talking about.
Right, and then last weekend you had
Rain. It was called Rain.
I think they
never
closed
went there.
Huh?
It was called Rain.
Yeah, and I think now they're closed. And then you have people.
Yeah, they've been closed for a minute.
Then you have people fighting at Ballpark Village last weekend. So I think people, yeah. That was a brawl. Like no gauntlets were thrown nor fists. There was a lot of pushing and shoving and falling down, to say the least. But people want a place to go to where they can just kick it.
Hold on, go ahead and click on that real quick. So we talking about Rain. Everybody that's not if you can't see Don's face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But keep going.
but yeah, so I think I don't mind. I remember wanting to like be grown. I'm like, I can't wait to go to 35 and up club, because that's always been a thing back home. And I get it. Like normally it's in the lounge, like club setting, but ultimately they're right. Like I don't want to go to brunch and somebody play my song, and then it's a bitch twerking on the table next to me.
Yes, I don't want that either. Yeah.
I just want everybody to be like, hey, and have a good time and move on with their life. Like,
I don't want nobody on my all up in my grits, twerking. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not mad at the age restriction. It's just one thing that I think that ultimately it needs to happen. And also it also, and not saying that people won't have fake IDs or anything, but ultimately if I'm single and I'm looking to mingle, not saying that everybody in that space will be single, I at least know the person. If I'm like 40, this person I'm talking to is at least 35.
Right. Because I know they had to pay dad to be that certain age to get in there.
Yeah. So I think it's a great idea. And like I said, if you build it, they will come and people will come. And I don't think you'll have any problem getting business, because there is a demographic there for that. As long as your food is good, you got great service. We have to keep that in mind.
Yes, you got to have those on point though. Those are imperative.
And I challenge everybody to be patient, because this is a new restaurant. And it seems like it's a black-owned business. It seems like, but
it's the same people that own Fahrenheit in North County. Same people that own the bar club Fahrenheit over in Northwest. It's off of West Florissant, Halls Fair, up in that same kind of area.
Wasn't there a Fahrenheit on Oliver, Washington at one point? Yes, it was.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, but this was out in North County. This one's out there, because North County has its own set of bars and restaurants and clubs is out there that, I'm saying that some of those people never even come out to the city like that, because they got so much stuff in their area.
Yeah, I mean, y'all be safe, because I don't be fucking with North County like that.
I don't either, not for real. You gotta really, that's a 30-40 minute drive from me, for real.
Yeah, and drinking and all of that stuff. You just gotta be safe, because on the sober day, they try to fuck with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about, and you brought this topic, but they're calling this man, my man, and I love this guy's one of the smartest dudes. I've met this man twice in my life. OVO Michael, they call him Michael Eric Dyson. They call him OVO Michael now.
You said
here he is talking about Drake.
You're the same thing, kind of defending him as little more than a black man.
Right. Exactly. Well,
you think that's the way the world is now? That this country sees Drake as little more than a black man?
Look, Rick Ross, one of the rappers, was calling him a white boy. So my point is that you can call him a white boy. I'm saying, when I say little more, I'm not saying that Drake is not regarded as a pop star of the first magnitude. Beyonce, Taylor Swift, he's up there. I mean, he's an incredible figure who's transcended many barriers. So no, of course I acknowledge his Promethean, prolific characters are a hip hop artist. But I'm saying, for all of you who are calling him a white boy, let him get caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. He's just another black person. That's what I was trying to suggest. So you're trying to delegitimize him as not belonging to our culture, when the best of our culture has been more expansive. And guess what? Barack Obama, whom you love, was half black, so to speak. He was mixed race.
Right.
Many other black people, Zadie Smith, Sade, there are many African-American people who are mixed race who have legitimacy, but there's an undercurrent of assault upon his legitimacy as a human being. And to call him a culture vulture, because he begins to experiment. Jay-Z made stuff with Spanish, and he was seen as experimenting broadly. Drake does it. You're a culture vulture trying to rip somebody's culture off. Be consistent and understand the beauty, the power, the diversity of blackness, and one person can't exhaust it all.
I'm just Michael Dyson.
They call him OVO Michael. They call him OVO Michael now.
Well, we're gonna call him OVO bitch, because he missed.
No, hey, we can't do that. We can't do that. I respect that man a ton. We can't call him. I didn't talk about that young lady earlier, you gotta respect that. I really didn't have to respect that young lady. We ain't gotta do that to Mike.
Offline.
You said what now?
You kind of didn't, but it was offline. But it is.
Yeah, but I didn't do it on air.
I'm gonna say this. I think he's missing the mark in what everybody is saying, and more so specifically what Kendrick said. So you're telling us to receive this person, to welcome this person, when this person in the same breath turns around and says, "Oh, you talking to us like you a slave," and all these different things.
No, he said like you trying to free the slaves.
Like you trying to like same difference. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So like we talked about that, and I'm like, okay, it's one thing to, and funny enough, I was talking about this earlier today with the comic, and he called Drake sweet because we were talking about Serena Williams, and he was listening to people, and I was like, well, these could be people that you said that she dated or whatever. People date, things don't work out, right? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, yeah, Drake is sweet anyway. I said, I'm not going to call him necessarily sweet more than a fetishizer, though. Like, I feel like that's what he does. Like, he fetishizes Black women like he does the culture, right? Mm-hmm. And with that being said, it's like this kid actively says that I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. I went to Jewish schools. I had a bat mitzvah, all these different things, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that, oh, you can't lean into your Blackness because you just met your dad, because your dad is coming around because you are now Drake. And so, but you've surrounded yourself with people. And I'm not going to say that it's necessarily a gimmick, but you have definitely done things where it does come across like every other day. It's like Megan said, you are in somebody else's hood, posted up like a bad bitch. You got a different accent. Who are you? And I think it goes back to not knowing who you are.
I'm Doja. They sleep. Yeah, we part of Just Posted Podcast, man. The best show on this network. Come on, check, girl.
Seriously, man. Just Posted. It's just me and Doja sitting back talking about what the fuck going on in the world and the streets.
We said labor of love. He said labor of love. I ain't say that shit. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody coming to watch, though, man. We really appreciate y'all. Holla at y'all later.
Hey, man, this nigga just tall for no reason.
I'm gone.
And he do regular jobs. Don't forget that.
And trying to find your identity, which is why people feel like you are a culture vulture.
I agree.
And so I believe in this case, Eric missed the mark in what people were actually saying. You felt like, and he probably has some sort of empathy because he's a lighter skinned brother, and where people have probably.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was going to say. Keep going. That's what I was going to say. Keep going.
So you have some sort of empathy toward him because of your experience, and I'm not going to take that away from you, but you ultimately, and even if you didn't bring Rick Ross into this or a Metro, but he didn't bring Metro Boomin, but like he used Rick as an example. Mm-hmm. But you didn't say, all you could say is white boy, but you didn't negate anything that fucking Kendrick said. Like you really couldn't stand on that outside of the culture vulture thing. And it's like, you're this person, and I'm not saying that you can't lean into your Blackness, but it's also a journey and experience that we have had, especially as Black Americans, and I know they racist up in Canada too. Mm-hmm. And so Drake probably has his own thing that he's dealing with because he grew up around white people and white Jews at that, like, not like, and I'm not gonna take his experience from him, but I'm saying is that we live two completely different lives, and you can say, yeah, he could get pulled over, he's still gonna be Black at the end of the day. And Barack Obama grew up in motherfucking Chicago at some point. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was in Hawaii, you know, at one point with his grandparents, but he spent the course of his like adulthood, he was in the hood. So it's like, it's different. So your experience, you are vicariously living those through people that actually went through those things. Like we said here, you make great music. Nobody's taking that away from you. But you knew who to attach yourself to to get those things. And now you, like he said, you have transcended into a certain realm where it is like you are on that Kanye, Beyonce, Taylor Swift level. Nobody's taking that from you. But like, these are the facts. That's just what it is, and just call it what it is. But for you to say, oh, Drake gets pulled over, man, the nigga is Drake. It ain't like you getting pulled over and a white person isn't gonna know who you are. No,
hey, no, you're right.
So I just feel like he missed it in that area, in that realm of what people were really trying to articulate. So just like I was easily got up here and was like, oh, he fetishizes black women. He does. You got a baby boy, a poor escort. I ain't gonna call her a porn star, but an escort. And everybody was shocked. What is it? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Because I know who I am.
Hey, that's real.
And I feel like if somebody asked him that, it would be a pause and a very curated answer.
Which is real. I mean, I just think the main thing I'm surprised Michael Dyson didn't get the idea of the fact we're nobody, unless you're like delusionally talking about his blackness, nobody's indicting anyone for being biracial or light skinned. Is we don't like that dude for the way he rocks. It ain't about anybody else being light skinned or dark skinned and them not having access to blackness. We're saying his access to blackness needs to be checked because he seems to conveniently want to use his blackness and not want to be all the way in for us. And that ain't just because you light skinned. It's some darker black folks too that we feel that way about. It ain't got nothing to do with him being light skinned.
Yep.
You know, it's some other people that we need to check on too, and you know, check on some of that black card and see if it's punch card out or not. You know, it's some other people too that we need to look into that. So and that was the one thing I'm surprised he wasn't able to grasp that difference. That was really interesting to me.
He saw himself in him.
Yeah, but it just felt like it was felt like it was I don't want to say unwarranted. I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out what I mean by that. It felt like he didn't really look at it as a totalitarian thing, like isn't a fool. He just like, oh, they just hating on because he light skinned and they saying that's not black. I'm not saying that nobody's not black. Everybody's still not black, but his access to blackness is a very convenient thing, and he changes up himself to be something within blackness that's not him. Isn't that phony too, Mr. Dyson? And I love you, man. Look, he's one of the first cats that maybe want to be a professor. So I all reference to him and all his abilities and intellect, but he's dead wrong on this, or he's not looking at it as a.
That's why I was like, oh, this is hilarious, because you just don't get it. And some people not like they say like they can't relate because you know what I say all the time, like I don't understand, I don't relate, I don't understand. But for him, I think he saw and what people were saying, and he felt like people was trying to take away from his blackness. That's something that was happening to him, and so that's why I felt like he gave that answer. Sorry, it's a dog. She got him over here.
No, you all good. You all good. Sorry. You all good. I don't know. I shout out to you, Michael Eric Dyson. Like I said,
I'll take my statement back. Sorry, Eric.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I might even cut it out just for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I said what I said. Like Nene said, I said what I said, but I can retract, and I did.
So, do you want to talk about this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing, or do you want to table it?
Let's go back to that. I just want to say this. I want to.
You go back to OVO, Mike.
No, it's so much happening with because you know there's like this even with that there's like the conversation around You know, like what Stephen A. has said.
Hold up, I got it for you. I already got it for you. That's
Okay.
I was waiting. Cute.
I was gonna talk about the lake.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So did you say
You're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen A.,
us?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
All right, let's.
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, I really appreciate
you my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A., 3 years ago, you were not talking about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys,
you making Stephen A. point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A. point.
Please let me do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get into commercial break. All right.
Who talks about?
So, you know, Shannon had her on the nightcap.
Yes, I saw that.
Is what else is there to say? Because she said it, she was honest, you know, about it. And I was even I watched the game last night. You know, it was the Fever versus the Liberty. And she's absolutely correct. Like these players did have a hand in bringing more viewership, more seats to the WNBA. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. That's what it is. I would say in the past few years, like she said 3 years ago, like, but I would say now it's like sold out games. Like they're like, oh, yeah. You know, it's so that don't take that from them. It's the same thing that's happening now. What I think the hazing, I think there's a little hazing that's happening with the new girls, and more so Caitlyn versus everybody else. And people, when Angel was at LSU,
hold on, I got one more clip for you. I want you to hear this, and then I want to, because you're gonna go somewhere that they go through this right here.
Single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role. The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Well, she's talking about the championship game a year ago, LSU versus Iowa, and LSU prevailed. But to your earlier point, there was an incident recently. Alyssa Thomas, who happens to be African-American, grabbed Angel Reese by the throat and threw her to the floor. Flagrant 2, ejected from the game. The reason why that doesn't spark as much conversation isn't just that Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than Alyssa Thomas. It's because it's a black on black incident. Wow. And you don't have that dynamic that people can comment on, yes, but also exaggerate and make the entire story sometimes.
And also,
that is really that is between the lines.
No one cared about the WNBA when women of a certain color were beating up and bruising each other, because it's been happening since the league's inception. We have this star, this person that people love. They want to protect her. So now the new fans and the new analysts and the new people have so much to say. Bob, thank you for saying that and acknowledging that, because you're a legend in this sport. And you are also gracious enough to say, look, I'm not an expert in the WNBA, but what I do know from the history and what I do know, this is why she is being treated this way, and why no one cares about
I've seen it in every sport. I mean, a newcomer.
All right.
He's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct.
Dr. Bob Costas.
I know. I'm like, I know who Bob Costas is.
St. Louis's own.
So ultimately, everything he said was true. You know, we see it time and time again, and then it is like Angel said, like, we're also watching, and we mainly watching because of her. Do I think that there is some jealousy amongst the more seasoned players and the new, you know, the newcomers? Absolutely. Because like I said, it seemed like they're trying to haze fucking Caitlyn and her. You know, like, how you but did you just Draymond me? Like, you just grab my neck? Like, the fuck? And so we're seeing this happen, and like I said, like, it is not like I saw that on my timeline maybe one day, whereas we're still talking about what happened with Caitlin Clark, and that was what earlier, like in the middle, like last week, whenever that happened, when that girl knocked her down, and you had your own teammates doing wild shit to you, and we talk about it. It's in the news cycle for days on end.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm surprised all these people coming out caping for Caitlyn like that, like saying
But
like they
it's
shouldn't be.
always
We
been
don't
like
hurt
that.
just to do it. She got to get beat up. She a rookie. That's what happens.
Yeah.
None of the other greats in any other sport, people just let them come in there and just dominate the sport because it was good for the sport. Every one of them had to go through their bumps and bruises. And you got to give Caitlin Clark her credit to let her be able to get beat up and overcome that as a player. That's the thing we love about a story like that for an athlete is the ability to overcome that those grinds and coming out and becoming out on top of it. If she just ran over the league, it'd get boring fast. And people are like, oh, it's only popping because of Caitlin Clark. It's got to become a thing. She has to overcome. That's what we love, those hero stories. If you do love Caitlin Clark like that.
Yeah, and also, and ultimately, I think with both of the girls, I think the problem is that it's coming across like y'all are intentionally trying to hurt them. Like you are trying to, you could do something to me where it really, because like think it if when homegirl knocked her over, hit her like that, and she fell so. She could have tore her ACL. Like something could have happened. Yeah. But something could have happened. She could have rolled her ankle. She could have had a season-ending injury. And it's like, it's happening to both of them. And I think that people don't like Angel just because it's like in your face raw. Other girl, Caitlyn is just like a little more cookie cutter. And but it's mainly, it's like Bob Cousins said, it's because.
Oh no, Caitlyn talks that shit though too now. Don't get it twisted.
But nobody talks about it. How they talk about Angel. And so where it's like, oh, expected, you're being a bully, you're doing this. No, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. So why when I do it, is it a problem? Whereas when Caitlyn does it, nobody say shit. Nobody said nothing to her about this. But when Angel did it, it was a problem. So it's interesting to see where this will ultimately go. But for sure, let's not even play. Like, yes, we know, like Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops and all those other greats exist. But people wasn't filling up those seats. And I think there has been because women's basketball is so raw and reminds a lot of people about how, like, of what the league used to be, the NBA used to be. That's why you got people tuning in.
Oh, I didn't even think. Yeah, and that's a good thing that we get to see.
It's a great thing. It's a great.
But we're talking about them like
this. Pay the girls more. Y'all just decided that y'all was gonna put them on the PJ this season.
Yeah, this is a great thing that we are letting this happen, man. Like the idea that we're all having this discussion and being able to debate them is a good thing. So I think both sides, those new people coming to WNBA have to be more gracious because you don't understand and like have to sit there and understand what's going on. And those people that have been watching the W have to know that, hey, with becoming more popular, these casual idiots are gonna come into sport just like every other sport.
They are, and everybody gonna have something to say. So y'all about to see a lot of commentary around it. Everybody is now a sports analyst. Everybody gonna have an opinion. And the internet allows the space for that to happen.
All right, our final topic. Let's get into Lake Lanier here.
Hey, nigga, stay off that water. Y'all know that is a burial ground.
I wish we could make that the clip name. To stay off that lake, nigga.
You can. That's the name of the show. That's the name of the episode. Hey, man, stay off that lake. Like every other week is something, and people have been petitioning because Tamika Smith. Wait, that is not her name. Tamika Foster.
Yep. She's ex-wife.
Who the fuck is Tamika Smith?
Yeah.
Has been
you think it's Tasha Smith too, wasn't you?
Probably. Who looks really great, by the way. She looks so good. But has been petitioning for them to drain that lake. Like everybody that is a man-made lake that used to be Grantville under, and it was a black town that they made people
black
leave.
Town and Native American.
Yeah. So that is why this keeps happening. When I tell you the ancestors don't play, they don't play. And they talking about making like a Margaritaville over there, all these different things, and it's like, why? And there were a lot of people that signed that petition. Oscarville is what it was called, Oscarville.
Okay.
A lot of people did sign that petition to have that lake drained because there have been so many deaths that have happened on this lake alone.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read the type here. A Georgia man fishing at Lake Lanier drowned on Wednesday, marking the latest in a series of tragedies at the notorious lake rumored to be haunted. There were 13 deaths at Lake Lanier in 2023 compared to 3 at Altoona, the lake with the next highest number of deaths in the state. The victim, identified as 73-year-old Matthew Mayo of Gainesville, was fishing out of a bass boat with his wife at the time of the incident. When the man tried to sit down in a seat, it became unbolted from the floor and caused him to fall into the water. According to a statement from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Mayo did not resurface. Game wardens then located his body in 6 feet of water, and Hall County Fire made a recovery of the body. So that's the newest one.
Don't that sound eerie?
Yeah, Atlanta did a whole thing on this. Remember?
I remember.
Yeah. Just don't mess with this lake, man. I didn't even know about this lake in Georgia for real like that until like last couple of years when you brought it to me last year. I had never really heard. Maybe I heard of it, but I didn't know it was haunted.
Always something. Always. Listen. I would like to know. We can pull those numbers.
Because how far is it from Atlanta?
Like when did this lake come into existence? Like when they forced the townspeople out?
1912.
So how many deaths since 1912 this lake came into commission to now versus
or resulting displacement of 1,100 black residents from Forsyth County by white residents?
Yeah,
the black residents comprise about 10% of the population at the time. The current population is about 4% of the area's population. So 1950 is when they actually made the reservoir, though, when they made it. But they kicked all the black people out in 1912.
So since 1950, when this town became submerged in water, to today, I wonder what that number is versus the neighboring lakes where they've had deaths.
All right, so since construction in 1956, there's been 700 deaths at Lake Lanier. So it looks like it's just been picking up. Just since 1994, 200 people have died at Lake Lanier.
That's a lot of people.
Just since 94.
Right.
Dang. 39 died in 2023. Like this is an uptick these last couple of years. So
people like when people have gotten in that water, they have reported people have said that it felt like something grabbed my leg.
Dang.
Like, and what about the guy that recently, like even before this, he got electrocuted?
Oh wow. So it's a professor. Wow.
Like he fell off the dock or something and then got electrocuted into going into the water. So I don't understand why y'all continue to hang out here.
Wow. So this is this is a tragic history with this. So this is the ancestors tripping out. Yeah. Oh, so okay. The Ku Klux Klan.
I don't even think they moved those burial grounds.
No, they didn't. So I guess it was the 87 Ku Klux Klan people started a boycott the integration of that area. In 87, Jesus Christ, y'all took that long to start boycotting. Okay. Yeah, so 700 people they saying have died since it was created. This is crazy. I mean, just leave this lake alone, y'all. Like, and look, let's just say all the people that we love and care about, y'all leave the lake alone. Because some people just gonna do it because they think that they immune to that.
Yep.
We can't save everybody, y'all. We can't save everybody.
And I don't want to.
Oh man, Don, where can people hit you up at?
Hit me up on Instagram at St. Angela's. Gonna be relaunching the candle store. I have a pop-up this weekend. Let's see if I like this. A little nervous.
Let's get it.
Like I said, I still have the episode out about us doing the review of Cowboy Carter and dissecting it. Is it a country album? What is it? Is it something that's experimental? So we go a deep dive of that, as well as y'all subscribe to my YouTube. I think I hit 900 subscribers, 100 more, a little over 100. No, a little less, because it's like a little over. I think it was like 908 or something, or 903 or whatever. I'm out there, just trying to consistently crank out this content, mapping out some episodes for Whiskey Sour. That'll be really, really fun and interesting for y'all. And yeah, girl. Yeah, and when I say girl, I mean girl, y'all. My people, whatever, my people. And that's it for me. That's it.
Man, make sure
y'all subscribe to like our Patreon, all these different things.
We're coming back with more soon. Hey, I gotta send you a thing that somebody did this awesome deep dive on the same one we did on our Patreon for the death of was it Tamara Foster?
The girl from Detroit?
Yeah, somebody. I'm gonna send you this one. Okay. It's so good. I want to take down our Patreon because it's that good. It's like they did that good of a job on it. I mean, we ain't taking it down. That's just but it's that good. Like a brother did a good job. But thank y'all for listening as always, and we'll be back. Peace.